Hey, this is Mark Davis with Big Water Adventures. I want to talk to you a minute about wrapping a gaff with TwinTack wraps. First, the material itself. If you're not familiar with it, it's non-adhesive, it's hydrophobic, and essentially what that means is that wet or dry, this stuff stays tacky, and it also, no matter what your material your gaff is, this was a metal one, whether you've got bamboo or wood, the base of it, EVA, whatever kind of wraps you've got on it, this stuff doesn't do anything to it because it itself is non-adhesive. There's two ways you can wrap it. You can stack it side by side, which is essentially with no seam whatsoever, where it's just one continuous smooth surface. And then you can actually do a little bit of texture for overlap. I like to do both. When I've got a gaff on the foregrip, I like to do a little bit of texture and a little bit of overwrap. And then on the rear, I like to have that smooth surface because one hand I'm guiding and the other hand I'm gripping, sticking, and moving. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. We'll start with the back. With the back, we're gonna just start up at the top, and this stuff grips upon itself. So essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with the tapered end down at just a little bit of an angle, and then you wanna put a little pressure on this stuff, and you're gonna lock it on itself. Once you get it locked right here, now it's actually locked on itself right there. So there's no adhesive, no tape or anything, and you're just gonna lay the seam all the way down with this. And you just go side to side. You can see the opposite side of what I'm doing. And you're just gonna take it all the way down. These are pre-cut strips, 36 inches currently. By the time this video airs, might be more than that. And we might have some other options, especially when you start getting into stuff like gaffs. Now, you can see what I'm doing as I'm pulling it tight, I'm actually following that seam and laying it side by side. In the interest of time, I'm gonna do it a little bit quicker, so if there's just a little bit of tiny seam or a little bit of a gap, you can see what I'm talking about. This stuff won't move once you put it in place. It'll stay right where you put it. And take it all the way down. If you notice the power pole stickers, I think to myself that if I can just make a fish stick with a power pole to that quality level, I'll be doing good. So you can see on this gaff itself, you've got this whole surface area right here. Now anchoring it is simple enough. You can use a piece of electrical tape if you want, or TwinTack actually comes with these pre-wrapped pieces right here. And you essentially just take it, I like to follow the same seam. Get the rest of this back of this adhesive off. Now when I say adhesive, I know you're thinking, well, you just said it's non-adhesive. Correct. It is non-adhesive, but you're putting the adhesive over the material itself, so you're not actually going over the EVA on that gap, on the gaff itself. Just lock that down right there, just like that. Now, if you wanted to use two pieces to go ahead and finish this out, what I typically will also do, I mean, this is plenty of a hand grip. You can see you've got plenty of space here. So for your backhand, that's gonna be fine. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and carry another piece and carry it all the way down here. For the second part, for the mid part, I like to have a little bit of texture. So what I'm gonna do, what I mean by that is, I'm gonna start, the way to think about it with the gaffs is follow the gaff with the first wrap from the butt down if you want it smooth like this. If you want a little bit of texture and have it correct, you're gonna go the opposite direction with it. So I'm gonna start up here. I'm gonna do this exact same thing and essentially lock it down on itself, put a little tension on it. This stuff's hydrophobic, so no matter whether it's wet or dry, get fish slime on it, blood, whatever, stays completely tacky. Now, on this, if you can see, I know we've got some POVs down here. I wanna make sure and show you where the texture comes in. You're essentially gonna cut about a third of the tape itself, of the TwinTack itself, and you can see that seam right there that I'm creating. If you want to do a little bit more and make it a little bit larger and more of essentially a gripping surface to where, because your hand's going to be wanting to slide this way, so you've actually got the seams to where the palm is going to catch right here. You'll see a huge difference the first time you do this and put the TwinTack on there. Number one, in the grip, but also number two, in your ability to control the head of the gaff without it sliding and in your hand. Now on this one, if you want, see I've got a little bit of extra, which is fine. What I can do here is I can pull real tight. You can see this stuff is very form-fitting on the gaff itself. So now I can actually take it over to the other side of this, and it's just the same thing. It doesn't matter whether it's the foam or the metal. Take another one of the TwinTack strips. I got it started there. And then once again, I'm just going to follow. Like I said, if you want to use some electrical tape, you see I've got it laid out there, you can do that as well additionally. But you're just going to lock that down with that strip. And if you notice what I was talking about with the texture, so the smooth grip, you don't see any seams right here. That's still, I mean, I know you can't feel it through the camera, but I promise you, it's going to keep the gaff head from turning, shifting when you're trying to make the shot. It'll keep it from sliding this direction. But then when you've got this controlling hand up here and you start to make the sweep, try to put the fish in the boat, you'll notice this little groove right here just gives you just a little bit more texture that will allow you to, I mean, just lock it down and stick them. So if you're wrapping a gaff, I like to use both of them, a little bit of overlap on the foregrip and straight, just side by side smooth on the rear grip. And it doesn't matter, as I said, whether you've got a wood gaff, bamboo, whatever. TwinTack will go over any surface. It locks itself down. As soon as you touch this stuff and you use this stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about, and I promise you, you'll be a fan. You'll have stuff wrapped on the boat that I haven't even thought of yet. Go to twintackfishing.com for more information.